meat, beer. The world suffers. I must drink. Uh-oh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
How you doing,
Daryl
guys?
Smith. This is my cohort, Mr.
Chris Picard.
There you go.
We're back after a couple weeks off.
After approximately 2 weeks off.
2 weeks off we
Two
took
episodes
off.
we took off.
We took off 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
But we're still keeping the episode order intact.
To you
this
wonderful
is
folks out
148
there.
for
I know
those of you keeping count.
It feels like years to you all
Yes.
that we've been gone for such a long time. But we have returned. We're a little more lower key. We're a little more organic. A little quieter
A
today.
little chill.
We're a little chilled.
This is the first time that we've done Film Banter where we had a leap year.
Oh, this is true.
We had 29 days last month.
That's correct.
First time that's happened in 4 years.
And so many people, I saw so many people at not restaurants, but at supermarkets buying cakes for their beloveds whose birthday fell on the 29th.
So they either celebrated one day before or one day after.
Well, normally, of course, that's
Your
very
choice.
true. I used to go to grammar school with a young girl. Her name was Susan Blumel. And we were all 12. Poor Susan was only 3. Because her birthday fell on leap year.
You're doing it like dog years
I
kind
know.
of thing almost.
Of course, some of you have to remember Susan Blumel. She was a really nice little girl, and she had very long pigtails. But anyway, so a little restaurant banter. We did
If you
go
like,
to...
we went to our favorite Mexican haunt.
Little Mexican.
La Hacienda Don Miguel.
And we-
Don Manuel or Miguel, one of the two.
Just cool.
It's in Suffern, New York.
La Hacienda.
Very delicious Mexican food.
And we all need a little Mexican every once in a while. At least that's what Errol Flynn said.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but
Very
I'm...
good.
So, but anyway, we're back. And
Oh,
it's
you know,
good
it was
to
a
be
funny
back.
joke to that. Do you remember Airplane 2?
Of course.
All right. Well, there's a scene where one of the stewardesses is getting very stressed out, and she's like, "All right, I just got to calm down. I just need a little breather." And all of a sudden, Tattoo walks in. Hervé Villachez.
Really?
Yeah, so stupid,
There you go.
but so funny.
Well, you know,
Those movies are
Airplane
still
2,
good.
They are still good.
They still hold
I
up.
love the first one.
Me too.
And I have gone back and, you know, the Jerry Zucker.
Yes.
And I think the other
David
guy was...
Zucker. David and Jerry Zucker, right?
David and Jerry Zucker, correct.
Yeah.
The Zucker brothers.
Exactly.
And I've gone back and they're on Netflix now, the Police Squad.
Those are
movies.
great.
They're great.
I love those.
And you know who's
And
wonderful
Naked Guns
in
are
them?
great too.
Naked Guns, Police Story.
Yeah.
Well, Police Story is the episode.
It is.
That's the
And then
TV
Naked
show.
Gun was taken from that.
Naked Gun
Yeah.
was the film.
It was, I know
I
that,
think
yeah.
the Naked Guns were first.
No. The show
Police
was
Squad was
first.
first?
Because in the credits it says, it's on the poster it says taken from the files of Police
Oh,
Squad.
okay, very good.
Yeah.
And you know who was in that? Both films was well, first of all, O.J. Simpson's.
He was
in
in
there.
those two.
And,
He was in all 3
I
Naked
know,
Gun films.
I know, and also,
George Kennedy.
Were there 3?
Yeah, Naked Gun 33 and a third wasn't very
Oh,
good.
okay. But
Yeah.
I did like the first 2, and
First
Priscilla
two.
Presley.
Yeah, she's great.
Is wonderful
Yeah.
in those films. She's really
And,
great.
and George Kennedy played his boss in the movies, but the TV show, I believe it was Alan
No,
North.
he wasn't his boss in the movies. He was his cohort in the films. I just watched.
No, what I mean is he was the superior officer. He wasn't. They weren't the same rank. He was his captain.
I
Yeah,
don't
and then
think
there was the
so.
commissioner who was the head of the female.
That was the woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And she was like the mayor or something. Or the commissioner.
She was the mayor, I believe.
No, but his
Yeah.
boss, his direct superior was George Kennedy because he
I
says,
didn't think so.
"I got to relieve you of duty," and he takes his stuff away from him.
Oh, I
yeah,
don't
no,
recall
George
that.
Kennedy.
They always seemed
is
like
his-
they were on
they
par
were
for the part.
No, they were
the same
great
peers.
friends. But no, he was a rank above them.
Oh, okay.
Because in the show,
I believe you.
whenever he would narrate, he would always say every episode, and as usual, my boss was already there. And that was the character that was played by Alan North in a TV show.
Okay.
And George Kennedy the movies.
Okay.
Doesn't matter,
No,
but
it doesn't
it's nice to
really
know.
matter. It is nice to know. Did you all enjoy that?
I hope you did.
hope so.
But back to Mexican food, we had a nice dinner. For
We did
those of you who
indeed.
were asking.
So tonight we have 5 films to do for you. We're going to be doing The Invisible Man.
We are.
We're going to be doing
We're going to be doing Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels,
We're
the
gonna-
new version,
The new version.
directed by
and written by
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
I know.
We're going to be doing a film with Elijah Wood called Come to Daddy.
Come to Daddy.
Yes, we're
Oh
gonna.
my heavens.
We're going to be doing a new Netflix film with Anne Hathaway,
Right.
and Ben Affleck and
The
Willem Dafoe.
last thing he said.
No, the last thing he wanted.
Last thing he wanted.
Yes.
There you go.
And then
Anne
we're also
Hathaway,
going
Willem
to be
Dafoe, Ben Affleck, right?
Yes, and we're also going to be discussing the wonderful show on Amazon, Fleabag,
Correctamundo.
with
Yes, we are.
the wonderful Phoebe
The
Waller-Bridge.
Oh my God.
And I believe that's everything we're doing. Let me make sure I didn't overlook something. There's 5
I think
things.
you named another film
6
though,
things.
when we were in the.
Yeah. There's
so
one
that
other
was
thing.
only
That was 5.
So
And then we're doing a little espionage kind of a film called The Operative,
Oh, correct.
starring Martin Freeman
Diane
and
Kruger.
Diane Kruger.
lovely Diane.
Yes. So we got some
Okay.
good stuff tonight.
So all right, let's begin our game.
Yeah, so we're going to start
out-
with what's in theaters now, the new film, The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man. All right,
Let's do
Chris.
it. 1,
Let's
2,
do it.
3.
Woof.
Here we are, The
Chris.
Invisible Man.
My God, what's happened? I can't see you. Where are you?
I don't know, but I kind of like it.
All right, it's incredible but true. But here we are, The Invisible Man, ladies and gentlemen, starring the lovely, the amazingly astute actress that she is, Miss Elizabeth Moss, of course, direct from The Handmaid's Tale, only on Hulu, by the way. But this is a film about a young woman who is being terrorized by an ex-boyfriend. And as you can see, she's being dragged away. It's got elements of, and this is Universal's. Let's start right off the bat. Universal
Yes.
is trying to rejuvenate the
The
old
monster
horror,
movies,
the
yes.
monster, the old horror films from the 30s, 40s. The Invisible Man. I assume we'll have a Wolf Man and a Frankenstein.
Well, they already started with Wolfman a few years ago, but I guess they're going to reboot it.
You mean the Wolf Man with
Benicio del Toro.
and Anthony Hopkins?
Anthony Hopkins. But I think they're going to redo it again.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. They're going to start all
The
over.
first one that they started with was The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Are you sure you're there? I can't even see you.
Just listen to my voice. Just follow the voice.
Oh, just follow the voice.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was the Mummy was the first one where they had this like
The Mummy?
The Mummy was the
Okay,
first one.
You mumbled that. I didn't
Yeah,
quite
when they
hear.
had like this Egyptian witch kind of a thing.
Okay.
With Tom Cruise, and
Tom Cruise.
Russell Crowe.
Hi.
And then so now we're doing Invisible Man, which
We are.
I gotta say I'm gonna just jump out and say this movie is very effective. This
Dynamite.
movie
I love
is
it.
horrifying.
I love this.
I
film.
love this film too.
I did too.
I was on the edge of my seat.
I was too. And
was
it's a
excellent.
2-hour and 3-minute film.
It is.
Elizabeth this is her film.
It's a tour de force
It
performance.
is a tour de
To
force.
use a cliche term.
It is a tour
but
de
it really
force,
is.
my friend.
She is excellent.
She is excellent. This is the woman who plays her sister
Yes.
right here. Not necessarily we know her name. But there's Elizabeth and her husband, not husband, her
Her name is
boyfriend.
Harriet Dyer.
She's wonderful.
She's
And
good.
there's not a weak moment in this cast. By the
The
way,
whole cast is great. I love
want
the
to talk
black
about
cop.
something very briefly here. The man who directed this, his name is
He's a pretty good track record
Well,
too.
I know
His
him
name
well.
is Lee Wanell.
Lee Wanell. I just literally within the last 3 weeks watched all 4 of the Insidious
He
films.
wrote all those films.
He wrote all of them,
Yes.
and he starred in all of
He's
them
an
also.
actor too and a writer.
He's
yeah.
an actor. He's the.
He wrote and directed this.
He did.
He also did a very good film that came out 2 years ago that I liked quite a bit called Upgrade, about a guy who gets enhanced and he becomes like a super soldier.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty
that
good.
was a short little film, but I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
It wasn't bad.
He also did, interestingly enough, he was the writer of the first 3 Saw films.
Right.
Yeah, and like we said, all
he's
these
very
Insidious
talented.
films, yeah.
Yeah, he got involved with James Wan.
He did. I think he's
And-
from Australia too, I believe.
Absolutely.
And now he's being tasked with the reboot of Escape from New York.
Really.
That's a big gig.
Oh.
I know, I don't think you need to do it,
I
but
don't think
it
we
might
need
be
to
a good
do
update
that.
because the other one's a little corny.
Well, we could have started with.
It is a classic.
Is that the first one that Kurt Russell did?
With John Carpenter?
Yeah.
Let me think.
No, his
That might
first
have
one
been-
was Escape from Little China.
No. There was Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little
Escape
China.
from New York. I don't recall which one came first.
I think Big Trouble came first.
You think so?
I'm
I
positive.
thought that was like 85.
No, that was the first one.
I'll look it up for
That
us.
was the first, without doubt. Anyway, Elizabeth Moss, she's being terrorized by her millionaire boyfriend, who is
a
scientist,
scientist, entrepreneur in the
for
field of
science.
optics.
He is. Well, it doesn't matter who you think, but yes, he's an optical whiz kid, and there's an element there we don't know, but he dies. He's killed. She escapes from this incredible fortress that he has built around her. He's keeping her captive, more or less. And we see her break at the very beginning of the film. She breaks
It's the
out.
first sequence, yeah.
It's the first sequence, is her breaking out of this house. And from that moment on, she's now being terrorized by this invisible force. Well, this film is so good. And, in most Invisible Man films that we've all seen over the past years, we see this invisible man who drinks a potion and he just,
It's like Jekyll Hyde kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's wearing that gauze, that white gauze around him. He's got the sunglasses. Now, that Claude Rains version, by the way, from 1932, 33, spectacular. If you've never seen that,
I gotta
film,
watch that.
It's awesome and it's wonderful. And James Whale directed that, who did The Bride and the original Frankenstein.
Exactly.
And he was just a great guy.
And he was the subject of that film,
Gods and Monsters with Ian McKellen
and Brendan
Bingo.
Fraser.
Absolutely true. So, just a great movie this is. I can't say enough about it. I loved it. I sat there.
Me too.
As you say, on the edge of my seat.
I
There's
enjoyed
no
this movie.
potions. There's no potions. I'm not gonna give away the secret here, but there's no potions involved. It all is based in almost a reality that is now done in warfare and the science of war, basically, where people are able to hide and become invisible. So it was
a really cool. I don't want to give it away. The way they revealed the technology was really cool.
I agree.
Neat.
I agree.
I loved the elements of this film of which a lot of these types of movies have, where the main character looked at as crazy. You're crazy. You're seeing things. You're thinking things, and she does such a good job of playing those emotions. If you know what this movie reminded me of many times of Claire Foy in Unsane from a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Reminded me of that a little bit.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, that was
the
good.
original film that kind of did that was 1944. It was a film called Gaslight, with Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1944, I'm almost positive. And it was just about a man trying to drive his wife crazy and insane. So she doubts herself so much, precisely what is done here, so that the rest of the world thinks that she's...
And that's a term, gaslighting. That's,
precisely. The term gaslighting has come from that very thing. I can't say enough about this film.
I can't either. It really took me by surprise.
Unfortunately, we can't really talk too much about it because there's a lot of spoilers and there's a lot of things that is just so amazing to behold on your own as an audience participant, and to just sit there and down those bonbons and popcorn as I did. I spent $15.50 on a medium popcorn and a small Coke. It used to be like $10.
I know, it's crazy.
Now it's
that's why I smuggle in my own Twizzlers.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But it was a very enjoyable film. I highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it.
I don't see anybody going to see this and not enjoying it. Maybe if you're not a horror fan, but if you like the genre, you're going to be very happy.
It's very
excellent.
There's a lot of...
By the way, that shot wasn't in the movie. They never had the handprint in the film. That was in the trailer only.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They always have to have a shower scene where the characters, like, being watched. This guy was very good.
He was excellent.
I liked him as a good cop and good friend of hers.
Goes to live with him and his daughter.
Oliver Jackson Cohen, I believe is his name.
He is actually...
No, I'm sorry. I think it's Aldous Hodge. I forget.
He's the boyfriend of her sister.
I don't know if it's a boyfriend. I think she's a friend.
Boyfriend. No, boyfriend.
I don't know. I didn't get the romantic vibe. I thought they were just friends.
They hugged at one point.
Yeah, but
and
good
she
friends
said,
hug.
"Yeah, I always kick his ass." She said.
Well, it could be.
No, they were boyfriend girlfriend.
Well,
no question.
It could be. It doesn't really matter. That's his daughter.
That's
that
his
lives
daughter.
there as well.
There you go.
It's just a really good
Great
film.
little movie.
I was really impressed with it.
I was too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Elizabeth, perfect.
Excellent.
She always has. There's a reason why she's playing in The Handmaid's Tale, where she's being put down by a Big Brother type scenario, and it's very much the same kind of a role she's playing here. She's she's down there in the dumps of this complete and total objective assault and haunting by her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
So
in a way, it feels like a ghost movie at times.
I know, and some of the horrible things she goes through. This is an R-rated film. It's not for children.
It's heavy.
It's a lot of violence. It's a lot of heavy duty just, I mean,
Physical
there were moments
violence,
where
yeah.
I literally had to close my eyes and not watch certain scenes.
And it's legitimately scary, creepy.
It is a creepy
It's
film.
Really good.
Elizabeth herself was sitting and she watched it in a screening room by herself
Ooh.
for the first time. And she said, well, you know, she did every scene in the
Of
film,
course.
but she jumped. She said, I jumped at least 5 times. And it's a great one.
Really
It's a
well
great
done,
one. So,
and really enjoyed it, and I really recommend it. I would definitely see this again on video.
absolutely, me too.
Yeah.
I will probably purchase this just for the...
It's a good purchase, yeah.
Just for the behind the scenes and some of the things that you do like to see. But
Exactly.
it's just it just catches you right by the...
I think it's the first really good movie of the year.
Well, it's only March.
Yeah, but I
3rd.
mean, you know, it's nice to have a good movie so far. You know?
Well, it's only March 3rd, but you know.
But it's a good film
In
regardless.
6 months, if we
I
can
like
still,
that poster too.
I do too.
Minimalistic.
I like it
Yeah.
also.
Oh,
Very
by
good.
the way, as we were saying before, Escape from New York was 1981. Big Trouble in Little China was 86.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gee whiz, I did not realize that. Because I
So-
thought Big Trouble was the better film.
I love it.
I did
Great.
like Escape from New York.
No,
Also.
Big Trouble is better. It's more fun.
It is more fun.
But also, Escape from New York was a lot more low budget than Big Trouble was. There was a lot more spectacle in Big Trouble in Little China. And in between those, we had the wonderful The Thing, which was great.
Yeah. You know, Chris, I think our moment of being invisible has now come to an end. And we are going to join...
Well, we're going to move on to another review.
We'll move on to another review so that
All right.
we will be able to...
Come back, people can see our beautiful faces.
Exactly, once again. I know you've missed us for all this time, and now here we are disappeared before you.
Well, we're going to move on and now to the next film.
Okay, very good.
Let's do it.
Hello!
We're back!
We're back!
Did you miss our faces,
Oh my
guys?
God.
Yeah. So
Rematerialized.
we're going to move on. We're going to cover Fleabag,
Okay.
which is the show that's been on Amazon for a while. It started in 2016.
Yep.
But it's had 3 seasons since then. The 3rd season, I believe, was last year.
You're incorrect.
2019.
There's only 2 seasons.
3 seasons.
Oh, 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
I am sorry.
3.
There were
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it's 2.
Oh, it is 2.
We're hoping for a 3rd.
It's 5
Apologies.
episodes.
Each season.
Each
So 10
season
altogether.
of 2.
My apologies.
No, there is not going to be a 3rd episode.
That's what I said. I said we're hoping, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
She's already moved on.
She's moved on to a new show
Yeah.
now called Run,
Yes.
which apparently is a BBC show,
Yeah.
which stands for Big Black Cock, of course. But no, here she is, the illustrious, my God,
Phoebe
she
Waller-Bridge.
has rewritten the soap opera / human, oh my God.
She's brilliant.
You know-
She's the writer of every episode and
Yep.
the star of every episode.
Absolutely.
And it's just about this woman who she kind of calls herself Fleabag. She's kind of a
Well, that's her
promiscuous.
name, believe it or not, in the
She's-
show.
Well, yeah, because all the
Well-
character names are like mom, dad, blah blah blah.
Correct.
You know, boo.
Well, her sister has a name.
She does, yes,
I
that's true.
don't
Everybody
recall
else is,
it, but
yeah.
that's her sister.
That's her sister. But she's so the main character, she's kind of a promiscuous girl. She loves to have sex. And
Olivia
it's all
Colman
about
right here.
her relationship with her family,
Wonderful,
her
Olivia.
father's soon-to-be wife. There's a lot of complicated
Played by Olivia,
relationships
correct.
there.
Yep.
Olivia Colman is excellent.
She is.
It's just a great show. It's funny.
You can't go wrong.
It's deep. It's relatable.
You'll laugh, you'll
It's
cry.
great.
You'll laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah,
Said the New York
I
Times.
agree.
And I have to admit, it takes.
This guy's
you-
great too.
He's
He's
wonderful.
the brother-in-law.
He's the asshole.
Brett Gelman, I think
and
his name.
he's from a show.
Well, he was on Stranger Things as well.
Oh, there you
amongst
go.
many other things.
Correct, Amundo.
But it's I think Brett Gelman. Brett Gelman, correct.
Yeah. Here's
very
the
good.
father, the priest.
Andrew Scott.
He's a famous guy. He's been around for a
He's
long
been
time.
a while. Yeah, he's Irish.
Indeed.
Andrew Scott. Andrew Scott. He's very good.
Yeah.
He comes in on the 2nd season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's really good.
No,
He reminds me a little bit of Sam Rockwell at times.
a
Ross
little bit.
Rockwell-esque.
I would agree with that. But, you know, there's such self-depreciation that goes on
Mm-hmm.
here. There's such a humble essence, the core of this woman. Here is her deceased roommate, who...
We meet
and
only in
I'm not-
flashbacks, yeah.
We meet only in flashbacks, of course. She runs into traffic. And, you know, this show, if you have not seen it, will be ingratiated
It's really
by
a treat.
The absolute beauty, wonder,
Yeah.
and joy that is our lead actress right here.
Yeah.
She is so wonderful,
Yeah.
spectacular.
It's fantastic.
I
The whole
cannot
cast
say
is
a negative
spectacular.
thing about it.
It won a ton of awards.
Every award it was nominated for.
Basically
Every
everything.
award
Yeah.
that it won. The
All the
BAFTAs,
accolades.
everybody. Golden Globes, there she was
Everything.
accepting
Yeah,
best
Emmys,
writing,
yeah.
best everything.
great.
She wasn't always nominated in the actress category, which was
Yeah, I
a
think
sad
she-
commentary because I think she should have been.
Yeah, she did get the writing awards though.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's
Absolutely.
really well written.
It is.
It's very smart.
She is now...
This is great. Kristen Scott Stewart shows up in that one episode.
Oh, okay.
That was
right.
good.
Now, she also has written that show with, what's her name?
Oh yeah, well she's an executive producer and I
she's
think
the writer.
co-creator.
Co-writer.
Yeah, of that show.
What is that
It's
show?
called Killing Eve.
Killing Eve,
I've
of
not
course.
seen it yet, but it's got Sandra Oh.
I watched
and,
the first episode.
Somebody else.
Yeah, it's a kind of a it's a similar, not similar, but there's a bizarre element to almost everything.
And we have to say that Phoebe, you may not know, she did a voice in the Solo film, the Han Solo spin-off Solo, Star Wars story.
Yeah, she played
she did the robot. Very funny.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
And she's got a big writing gig coming out soon.
The new James Bond film.
There we go, the new James Bond film.
which opens in literally a month.
April.
Yeah, about a month.
Late April.
We're
Yeah,
a month
looking
away.
forward to that.
You know, they've been touting that film for like the last
It's
2
heavily
months.
being promoted.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Billy, what's her name? Billie Eilish just
did the score,
wrote the theme song.
the main song.
I thought she did a good job.
I didn't listen to it on purpose.
I've listened
I
to
want
it.
to wait to see it in the film.
Oh, really?
I always do. I never.
Oh, no.
I don't want to see
you
the
can listen
advance.
to it. I mean, you know, those films have a certain core group. You know, you're always imagining how the credits are going
Well, that's why I like to wait.
against this. I love this shot here.
Yeah, and she's so
You
pretty
know,
and
she's
she's
so
so likable
she's so
and funny.
gorgeous.
One thing she does on the show that I love is that she'll look at the camera a lot.
Oh, no.
She'll reference the
she
camera.
doesn't just look at it. She
She'll-
talks
Well, she
to
talks to the camera too, like right here.
No, she
Yeah.
breaks that.
She breaks the wall.
She breaks the wall
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
She's always talking to you. Even while she's having
funny.
sex, she'll say, "Oh, he's gonna go for my bum now."
Yeah,
And
that was
of course,
funny.
I mean, that's the first episode.
Yeah.
That's the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
Like she becomes the first girl that lets this one guy do
Yeah,
her in the butt,
right.
and she
Go anal
and he's
with
like,
her.
oh, so amazing.
Oh God! So I'll be back later, and
Yeah.
of course he is, and then I just love her whole.
It's so
she's such a
entertaining.
free spirit
She
and
is.
soul, and you know you envy her, you love her, you fall in love with her. Everything about her is just absolutely
Yeah, I agree.
magnificent.
You do fall in love with her on
I
the
am,
show.
I am in love with her. I feel not quite the same way as I do about Eva Green, but there's definitely you know, some people. Just by watching their performances kind of enter into your heart.
Yeah.
And she does that very thing because she's so heartfelt.
I know.
And her writing is so amazing.
It's so
You know,
great.
this show
Yeah.
just grabs you and hooks you. There's another show that she did previous to this called
Crashing, yes,
Which
Crashing.
is Crashing, which is about her and a group of friends. She also wrote that
Yep,
complete,
yep.
produced it, the whole bit. And that's about a group of people who just crash at an empty hospital or asylum or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I believe it's a hospital.
Something
But
like that.
Yeah, they just crashed.
Abandoned
there.
or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
They're squatting basically.
Exactly. They just kind of move in and there's great comedy there. I enjoy
I like
it.
to see that because that's also on Netflix,
I've watched
right?
the whole thing. Yeah, and it's shorter than
That's
this.
on Netflix. Fleabag is just on Amazon right now.
Correct. Yeah. But
But it's very good. It's
this is the show to
It's
be.
an easy watch. Each episode is less than a half hour.
32 minutes or so at the most.
Yeah, and then
usually
there's
like 28.
10 episodes altogether for 2 seasons. I banged
5
it out
hours.
in 1 week.
Yeah, 5 hours.
Yeah, easily.
You're talking 5 hours for the complete 2 seasons.
It's very easy, yeah.
Very
and it's
simple,
such a
straight.
joy. I watched probably
You
2-3
can't
episodes
stop.
each time.
Either,
Yeah.
so, well, I probably watched the whole season in one night.
Yeah.
It was only 2.5 hours, and you know, she's just amazing.
She's fantastic.
She really is.
The sister's great. She's so tight on
I
the
know
show.
she's
I like
such
her.
a tight ass.
Yeah.
And then there's here's
Kristen Scott Thomas.
Kristen Scott Thomas.
She's in 1 episode.
I met her at the airport one day.
Oh, nice.
The guy who plays her father.
He's excellent.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so real.
He's had a huge career.
Has he?
His name is Bill Patterson.
Okay.
Very generic name, but he's a good actor.
All right. Very good.
Oh, this is a funny episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
catering and stuff.
I
It's
love
so
it.
good.
Every episode is just so
Yeah.
warm and you know it just gets into your
Loved
bloodstream. I loved it.
Highly recommended.
Absolute.
Fantastic.
Fantastic is the
Check
word.
out Fleabag.
Can't
you
go
will
wrong.
not
Oh
regret
no,
it.
no, it's wonderful.
It's great.
It's a joy.
It's one of the best shows of the golden age
in
of
a
TV.
comic world. I mean, you know, you've got your Breaking Bad, and you've got, you know, for me, of course, the Eva Green, Penny Dreadful, of course. But you know, just as a pure, just a laugh a second kind of show. It's just a sitcom beyond sitcom. It's also
Yeah.
a drama.
It is.
It's everything.
It's great.
And it just flies by like a very good long sit-down
It does,
film.
yeah.
And you're done, and you're over, and you've been enlightened.
I agree.
You rejoice. You literally have a halo over your head after you see this.
It's so good.
I loved it. I did.
Me too.
Okay.
We'll move on.
We shall.
Fantastic. All right. So next on the agenda is a film that once you see it, you will not forget it.
I agree.
It's called Come to Daddy with Elijah Wood.
There you go.
He's the most noteworthy actor in the film in terms of name recognition.
Absolutely.
There's other actors in there that you definitely have seen before. Martin Donovan being one of them. And that the guy who plays his father is really creepy.
Little Hitler-esque here with the hair. And
my apologies. There was really not that many pictures that I could find online for this film, so I only have like 9 or 10.
Okay.
But yeah, basically the premise is very simple. He plays kind of an oddball guy who goes to visit his father, who's been estranged.
He's been summoned by his father.
Yeah, well, I was going to get to that.
Right.
He goes to see his father for the first time since I think he was 5. He got a letter from his father asking him to come visit him. He has no idea why.
His father deserted him.
Deserted the
when
family.
He was very young.
Well, yeah, he was estranged. And so he goes there. His father lives in this weird house overlooking the ocean. And it's about them trying to, work on reconnect with their relationship. He wants to know why his father wants to see him. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to keep putting it off. And then things happen that we can't get into.
Well, let's get to this.
There's some twists
just
that
to
happen.
talk about this film for a moment. It is like peeling the layer off of an atom bomb in essence.
Yeah.
I just love the progression.
Me too.
You're diving into a rabbit hole. I like the way he just comes out of the forest at the beginning.
Yeah, right away.
Right in the
no boring
middle.
exposition.
You have
right
no
there.
idea what's going on. He walks up to this house that's sitting on like an ocean front, obviously in Australia, I assume.
They filmed, that's where it takes place. Yeah.
And then,
well, no, I'm sorry. No, in the movie, I think they filmed it in Australia, but it takes place in Oregon.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm sorry. They shot, I believe, in New Zealand because that was one of the film.
I'm sure they did.
But it takes place in Oregon.
Well, I think even the cop has an Australian accent, doesn't she?
No, she doesn't. No, because they talk about Portland, Oregon in one of the lines.
My mistake. Yeah. But anyway,
it could be anywhere.
It is a layered film where it just starts out very, very simple. It's just him and Dad, and things get slowly weird, and then they get slowly weirder, and then we just keep going down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And by the time the end rolls around,
you're like, "What did I just watch?"
Oh my God, I loved it.
Me too.
I loved this.
This was
film.
a real gem.
It was a gem. Talk about an uncut gem. And you pointed out to me a film called VFW. You said, this is the first gem I've seen. I was like, oh, please. I watched that film. My God, what a hunk of junk for me that was. But regardless, I told you to watch this, and of course...
Well, I was already going to watch it.
Naturally.
I told you about this film originally.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
When it was coming soon, I remember I showed the poster.
No, I remember.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter who.
We both discovered and loved it.
Well, exactly.
Great film.
And then I passed it on to you, and I said, listen,
please watch it. And I'm happy because I wanted to see it.
Yeah. And
he's excellent.
He's excellent. He's so good.
He's so good.
This movie just takes turn after turn after turn. It just gets weirder and weirder and weirder.
You have no idea where it's going.
And there's almost an element there, a Fleabagian kind of element. In Fleabag, things just, as in real life, things just take a very strange turn. And things just have this very deliberate sense of absurdity, as real life often does. And I just love the way this film just, even characters that, I like the way the characters in this film specific are pre-written to have their own agenda.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own agenda.
Yes, I agree.
Very often we meet most films these days, we just meet people, they just are literally there to provide our
main character storyline
our protagonist with a bounceability.
Exactly.
With a volleyball to be thrown and to return.
Or they're just there for a plot point.
Reaction, basically.
Yeah.
But this film, there are characters that are specifically our one bad guy.
I know you're talking about.
A very evil guy.
And he was well
played. Dynamite. I love this.
There's times where he almost looks like Weird Al Yankovic. With the long weird hair.
No, he
reminded me of somebody else too.
Yeah, me too.
I know I can't remember his name.
Yeah, kind of. Well, he looked a little bit like what's his name in Pirates of the Caribbean? Was that Stephen Ray? Who was in Pirates? He was one of the...
I don't think he was in Pirates, but I know Stephen Ray.
No, who was...
Not Stephen Ray. I'm thinking of...
Who's the guy in Pirates?
Well, which one?
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah.
He's
Rush.
a
little bit of a Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah.
Kind of a look to him, almost directly right out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
He kind of reminded me too, a little bit too, in stature of... I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter. British actor. But regardless...
I'm very grateful that you can't remember someone's name.
It'll come to
I'm
me.
always forgetting, it seems. But I just love this film. This looks like my mirror in the bathroom
where
you did your I Feel Pretty song.
It does, yeah.
So many moons ago, ladies and gentlemen.
A couple years.
But
this movie really took me by surprise.
It's a kick.
I did not expect this movie to go in the directions that it went.
I could watch it
and
again.
I'm so happy that it did.
Now.
Yeah.
I could watch it again right now because it's such a journey.
It is.
It reminded me a little bit of Under the Silver Lake.
A little bit.
Andy, what's his name?
Andrew Garfield.
You know, just where things just progress in such a weird way, and it just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and you're just down in this, and then finally you just can't even move from where you're sitting, you know. And thank God I'm just a big giant, you know, Idaho potato at heart, as I sit upon my couch and just completely vegetate into oblivion here. But I'll tell you, movies like this just force you to just sit down and be entertained. And Invisible Man, you know, I think we were fortunate. You know, Fleabag, my God. Yeah. You know, when you're just
these are great stuff here.
When you're in the presence of just wonderful art, and wonderful performances and writing, and oh my God, it makes all the difference in the world.
And this is one of the most unique films I've seen in a long time.
Me too.
It's very odd. It's very interesting. It's brutal at times.
It's brutal.
It's funny.
Oh my God.
It's just a really very original film that I'm happy was funded and came out.
I'm so glad.
Because a lot of times these movies,
I was almost, you know, sometimes I'm a little concerned when I recommend a movie very highly to you. And, you know, the first thing I said when you told me, you know, watch VFW, of course, which stars our guy from Avatar.
Yeah, Stephen Lang.
He was also in a movie called Don't Talk or Don't...
He plays a blind man.
He plays the blind man who...
It's a horror film, yeah.
Yeah, Don't Talk?
No, Don't Speak?
Don't Speak.
Something like that.
Don't Speak is a Gwen Stefani...
It is, that's not what it's called.
Song. It's not Don't Speak, but it's...
it doesn't matter. I know the movie we're talking about.
It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter to those that would care to know.
I'll look it up.
But look him up. But he's wonderful.
But Stephen Lang's great.
Stephen Lang is great, and of course he was in... he's been in a lot of films, but he's quite a presence. Unfortunately, VFW is just a horrible piece of garbage, and we're not even reviewing it because I refuse to waste your time with that.
Well, I wanted to review it because I'll tell you right now, I loved VFW.
Did you?
I loved it.
Oh, please.
I thought it was so much fun.
Oh, God.
It was a guilty trash pleasure. It was a total B movie. I had such a good time watching it.
It was such a drag.
It's
and
such
it never
a guilty
seemed to get
pleasure
momentum
for me.
going. There were so many... I'm going to talk about that just for 10 seconds here. The things I hated about
Don't Breathe, that movie was called.
There you go.
Stephen Lang.
Things I hated about VFW. At times, you know, we have these two people. We have people living in a bar, very much like that film with George Clooney's ex-girlfriend, Feast.
Feast.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought of that too, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they're trapped inside a bar regime.
In a VFW hall.
A lot of 23 minutes of just bullshit nonsense.
That's all it was character development.
Okay, fine.
Exposition.
George Wendt is there, direct out of his Cheers, transported his Cheers stool to this thing. But anyway, there are times in this film where the guys out there, they have guns trained on each other, but they're not shooting. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. There's so much bullshit. There's so much talk in this film that if they had just done what they were supposed to do and gone after the other side, but no, there's so much talk, there's so much, oh, well, you know, we can't do it because she knows this and oh, I want her. And they're standing over there with their guns trained on each other. There's Stephen Lang standing there. He's been shot in the leg. I mean, this movie just can't seem to get it to get to the point.
But a lot of movies do that. Because otherwise there wouldn't be a movie if the bad guys did everything right away.
It's all about the writing, and the writing in that film is horrendous. And they drag it out.
By no means
90 minutes.
It's not by no means an Oscar-winning screenplay.
Oh,
but I had a good time watching it as a B film.
Well,
as a B film, I had a blast watching it, and that's why I thought it was a gem, because I thought it was a lot of fun.
I hope your brain damage.
You've liked a lot worse than that movie, by the way.
Like what?
I can't think of an example now, but there's movies that you've liked that are terrible. Any movie with, like, you know, biker Nazi bimbos or whatever on motorcycles. You like movies like that?
I do not.
Yeah, you've told me. Always watching this bikini bloodbath vampire movie.
No. We all have guilty pleasures.
That's what this movie was for me. A guilty pleasure.
For me, it just never even came close
to
me.
That's okay. You don't have to like it.
Right, true. You're absolutely right. Doesn't matter.
So now I don't have to do VFW next week.
So far, though, we're right
on a good track.
Right in the ballpark. I mean, Invisible Man, fantastic.
I agree.
Fleabag,
fantastic.
Better than fantastic.
Come to Daddy,
really
fantastic.
The key. And
moving on,
Daddy, wonderful.
The new reboot, remake.
Here it is.
Somewhat of a sequel of The Last Charlie's Angels, because they reference the other ones. Written and directed by Elizabeth Banks, who I love.
I do too.
One of the most beautiful women on the planet. I think she's very
lady.
talented.
I do too.
And this
she plays Bosley.
One of the Bosleys, yeah.
Well, Bosley is not a character.
the code name.
Bosley is a rank.
It is.
Bosley
You're ranking
like-
Bosley, exactly.
Correct. You are a Bosley rank. So there's like 10 different.
You're like a
Bosleys.
handler. They're the handlers, basically.
If you like, and you handle your girls,
Exactly.
etc. So we have Kristen Stewart. We have this very luscious lady right here, and then we have our
This is
Aladdin
Naomi
princess,
Scott.
the Aladdin
And
princess,
the other lady
from
there
the Will Smith Aladdin film.
is what is her name?
Here we have
Ella
Patrick Stewart.
Balinska.
There you go.
And then we have Patrick Stewart, who is also a Bosley,
Correct.
who we learned right away is retiring.
Yeah.
And then little plot starts to develop with this girl works for a tech firm.
Right.
And she discovers that a new product, which is what? The MacGuffin of the film, the wanted item.
There you go.
Has capabilities that could be manipulated by nefarious people to control people and to kill them with an electromagnetic
it's a
pulse.
software freak of nature.
Through a glitch, an EMP,
Exactly.
which is an electromagnetic pulse, can be omitted and can wipe somebody's brain out, basically.
Now let's go back into the world of Charlie's Angels just for a moment. If
You
we
can
may.
do that part.
We can start out with the Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith, Farrah Fawcett back from the 70s.
Yes.
And that was a fun show. You
Yeah.
know, that's where we had...
I watched it a little bit as a kid.
John Forsythe played Charlie. Never saw him, just the voice.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same in this. Kind of sounded just like John Forsythe.
Really did.
And the same thing. Then, of course, and there's Ronda Rousey. We just saw
She was
Ronda.
a trainer.
And then we went and had the Drew Barrymore, Lucy Lee, and Cameron Diaz
Lucy Liu.
film. Lucy Liu, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And, I enjoyed those very much. Both of them. There's Charlie's
They're
Angels
entertaining.
and there's Charlie's Angels Full
Full
Throttle.
Throttle, yeah.
I enjoyed them both. They're just fun, they're goofy, they're stupid, they're sexy. I like the sexy aspect. This film, not sexy. Not
really.
sexy. No, not at all. Kristen Stewart, I thought that this was
Oh
more
yeah, I thought
your-
they'll look good. They gave him glamorous
Yeah, they-
outfits to wear,
kind of a
that
little
kind of
bit.
thing. But this is more like tough girls,
Tough girls.
empowerment, all that kind of stuff,
Exactly.
which is fine.
The Me Too
That
thing.
was definitely the Me Too movement was definitely an undercurrent throughout this film.
Absolutely.
It definitely influenced the script.
You know, all guys are are garbage beneath our feet,
They have
and we're going to put.
They have
our
a guy
feet-
that works for them that's like he gives them their food,
Yeah.
he gives them massages, he's their holistic guru, and he wants
Yeah.
to crack this one girl's shoulder. He's like, "Do you consent?" You know, like you can tell that they're taking care of all that kind of stuff.
There's a
which is
stupidity
fine.
to this film, and this
There
is. And I enjoyed this film.
I enjoyed it too.
I didn't love it.
for the silliness that it was.
You know, I mean, is it better than VFW? You're damn right it is.
well,
you're damn
in
right
terms
it
of
is.
production value, of course.
Well, it is, and Elizabeth
It's a much
is great.
bigger film.
You know, it is a bigger film, and
Yeah.
obviously there's a.
Can't really compare the two.
But I gotta say this: by the end of this film, when this film just kind of abruptly ends, it does take us through a variety of predicaments
yeah.
that the girls are in, which I enjoyed.
I did too.
enjoyed the opening scene
Set
where
piece,
they're
set
doing
piece.
that. It's almost like a deceptive. Reminded me very much of the remake of the Thomas Crown Affair.
With
the one
Pierce
with
Brosnan and, yes.
when he's doing the painting switching.
That was fun. I liked that
I
film.
liked it too, and I love that film as a matter of fact.
With Renee,
Renee
Russo.
Russo. Oh my God,
Yeah.
she's just so amazing in that film.
Great
This
film.
film has a.
Although that
all-
film is the worst product placement I've ever seen in my life.
Oh really?
Oh, because there's a scene where Renee Russo's character is at the headquarters of the cops or whatever, and she goes to a fridge and takes out a Pepsi, and she's holding it like this.
Oh, really?
Drinking it.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Well,
terrible.
They probably paid 30%
Oh, I'm sure-
of production
I'm
costs.
sure they did.
So thank you, Pepsi, for helping with that film. This film, however, it's very lightweight.
It is.
It never gets. There's no joy too much going on in this film, but you're entertained by the little espionage thing. I like Kristen Stewart. She's the kick-ass.
I thought she was great. I
of the
liked her
group.
in this.
I like
She was
Kristen in
fun.
almost everything she's
I
ever been
agree.
in. I loved it in that property.
Personal Shopper.
Personal Shopper.
I agree.
love that film.
And she's in a movie right now in theaters called Seaberg.
Oh, and she's correct, based on Jean Seberg,
Correct.
the actress from the 50s and
Yes,
60s.
yes.
But she's also in a movie called Underwater,
Which
is
came and went.
just
When they
like,
released it the first week
oh
of
my
January,
God,
you know
yeah.
it's not.
Pretty
and that was in the
horrifying.
can for a while too.
I'd like to see that film.
I'll watch it on
regardless,
video. I
because
love those kind of movies.
Those underwater,
I love
alien,
underwater
anything
movies.
that has alien kind of
Yeah.
reference to it.
The Abyss is the
I will
best of
watch
all
it.
those movies.
Well, that's a James Cameron film. Yeah, I didn't love The Abyss.
I thought
though.
it was the best.
I love it.
Although I'm a
Paris
big fan
and-
of Leviathan as well.
Okay.
Deep Star 6 was a ripoff of that.
Yeah.
We've had several others. But it's not a big genre. There's not a lot of these underwater movies. But I generally
True.
enjoy them
Yeah,
regardless.
The Abyss is great. Though.
I liked... I enjoyed... What's it called? It was really fun with the sharks.
I enjoyed 40 Meters Down, the first
Oh,
one.
yeah, I didn't see
with
that
Mandy
one.
Moore. I
Yeah,
know
I
you
didn't see
didn't.
that, yeah.
It was fun. There's a new one now, which I'm almost tempted to watch, but I
Deep Blue
refused.
Sea was good. That's the one I liked.
Deep Blue
with
Sea.
the smart sharks.
Oh, that was great.
That was fun.
Well, that was with Sam Jackson.
Although now you look at it, these effects don't hold up as much.
I love the scene
But
when
it's a-
Sam Jackson is standing on the
I
side
know.
there, and the shark
That
comes
was
up
great.
and just grabs him and eats him.
Yeah.
And that
Spoiler
was a
alert.
shocker. I
Yeah.
love that.
That was a good film. I
Then there
enjoyed
was
that.
Deep Blue 2.
I didn't see two.
But I like the first one.
The first
Thomas
one,
Jane.
Well, that was the big introduction of Thomas Jane.
Yeah, right. Great stuff.
Although he was in stuff before that.
He absolutely.
There's one scene in this film that I thought was dumb. So it's towards the climax of the film, and they have to break into this very elaborate, big rave party at this mansion where one of the main characters, it's his place, the rich guy.
Okay.
So they're sneaking in there in these little dresses and stuff, and they come into a room, there's a party going on, and there's this choreographed dance where they have all these dancers doing this dance on the dance floor
Right.
in perfect synchronicity.
And they join in.
And then they know all the steps.
I know.
That was dumb.
Yeah, it was
Come
dumb.
on, guys. That's,
I know.
that's terrible.
I think
hated
Elizabeth
that.
Banks was trying to appeal to the 16-year-old girls who might come and watch this.
To me, that was a big, like,
As we all know, the film bombed horrendously.
it's not going to launch a franchise like they hoped. I don't think.
doubt. They might just make a second one just because Elizabeth is the darling.
That, or
of-
maybe this could be better off for a TV show again. Bring back the show, maybe.
I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think so?
I really don't. But by the end of this film, I have to say, I felt like it was sex with a very cheap hooker.
No, I would give this a very
there-
soft recommendation.
There was no love going on, but you kind of got your rocks off. You know
I
what I'm
say it's
saying?
a very, very good attempt, a good achievement by Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
Because this is the biggest film she's done. Arguably.
It is.
Budget-wise,
I know.
production, you can tell she really put a lot of care into it.
She did.
So for that, I respect it. I think she did a good job. However, it just didn't have the oomph.
No, it didn't have any real.
Didn't have the oomph.
Nothing to it to
No.
really. No real arc.
No.
No real balance of storyline to ending where the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
something is revealed at the end. No, it just kind of ends in a kind of a just a like a fizz.
And I never felt true peril in this film. I never felt that anybody's life was really on the line.
Yeah, but I
you
never
know?
felt true peril in the previous two Charlie's Angels with Drew and Lucy and
Well, I guess
Cameron.
whatever, fair
I mean,
point,
those
but-
were just sexy little romps where all of our girls are very girly and
Yeah, yeah,
cutesy, but I still like those films. I like those films. I must say I do like them more than this.
Yeah.
They were fun, they were comedic, you smiled, you laughed, you guffawed. This film, you just kind of sit there and, you're entertained. But as I say, sex with a cheap hooker, there's no love going on here.
Yeah.
So, but there you go. Patrick Stewart wasted completely.
I agree. But you can watch this if you like.
Yeah.
You can watch worse. That's for sure.
Listen, you're all human beings on this planet. You can do whatever the hell you like.
Yes.
You want to watch it? Watch it. You don't want to watch it?
Then
Then
don't. Yes.
Damn it. Make
Okay.
your own mind up. Don't just listen to us trying to tell you what to see. But if you do watch this, sometimes I say to myself, why am I even recommending this film to these wonderful people that do, the 3 or 4 of you out there who actually watch this show? And sometimes I actually do say, there are certain films that we shouldn't even be reviewing because we're really, we're such a small show. We only have 5 movies on the show. We really want to tell people what to see as opposed to what not to see. But when films come out that have a certain
Prestige.
there's an
to them
aura,
or whatever.
prestige to the name.
You kind of we feel obligated to touch on it.
It's
you
a
know?
brand.
Yeah, it is.
And we do. We feel a
We
little
have to.
obligated. So and
It comes with
plus,
the job.
And then also, it's also a level of thing where I'll just call up Chris. I'll say, "Hey, did you watch Charlie's Angels?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I saw that." I said, "Okay, fuck it, let's review it then. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, what else do we have this
I know.
week? Oh, I don't know. What do you want to watch? Well, okay.
And then
I don't have
sometimes we'll
time.
take a week off because there's nothing really worth
Then Chris
watching.
says, "I don't have time. I gotta go. I gotta take him to the school and Max and this."
Well,
and
sometimes
that
I don't
and
have time to
Well, I understand.
to go see a film if I
No,
don't.
no,
you know,
life is-
if I don't plan it out, sometimes I can't make it.
Life is real.
It's tough.
It's all inside.
Well, you're the
both
same
sides.
way though. Sometimes you don't get to see a movie. Oh, I didn't get to the theater. You have a lot
Well-
more time than I do. Sometimes you don't get to the theater, so
No,
we're
it's
all
very
busy
true.
in
Well,
our
I didn't
worlds.
go see The Gentleman, which I do want to see, which is
I
actually
know. I want
it's
to
coming
see.
out in a couple
So
weeks now.
we'll touch on it. On
We'll
video.
touch on it
Yeah.
then.
But let's
Right.
move on.
Do want to see.
To a film called The Operative, which we mentioned at the top of the show,
Yeah.
with the wonderful Diane Kruger and the wonderful Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
This is a really cool little espionage film.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed this movie.
I knew you would.
I enjoyed the whole
I have to take full credit for getting you to see this film.
Well, because you told me to watch it.
I tell you to watch it, and you know as soon as I tell you to watch it, you know we try and hide each other's reviews before we see it.
I try to hide a little more than you do, I think.
You do. I will be
Just
a
because I
little
want
more-
it to be fresh on the show.
I understand
You know,
that.
I like
but,
that.
But at the same time, if I recommend a film to you that I do want you to watch because I like it,
Yeah.
I'm giving away the fact that
Of
I
course,
like it.
of course.
But
I
at the
figured
same
that.
time, I want to bring it to your attention.
Yes.
And I want people to see that this is a pretty damn good film.
It's good. I love the whole atmosphere this movie presents.
Absolutely.
I love that. We'll get to the storyline in one sec, but a lot of it takes
Well,
place.
it's very simple.
No, a lot of it takes place in Iran.
Correct.
And I love
Tehran. I love that.
Yeah, Tehran in Iran.
In the city in Iran, it's a main city.
I just
there.
loved seeing the everyday life
Me
of the Iranians
too.
because
I
we don't get to
loved
see
it.
that.
I loved it the way, and she, of course, is just saying, I love it here.
Yeah.
I love it here. She
Yeah.
goes down to the fruit stand and the guys are all
Yeah.
there, like, here, try this apple.
Yeah.
It's so good for you. And people just have heart and they're so human.
Anthony
warm.
Bourdain said that too because he was
Yeah.
amazed at how friendly the people were in Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
it looks like a beautiful place.
It really does.
Right at the under the mountaintops there.
Here she is. She's living as a spy.
For the Mossad.
basically, For this British agency, is it not?
No, she's working for the Mossad.
The Mossad.
The Mossad is the Israeli intelligence.
Oh, okay.
And Martin Freeman is her handler.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's her Bosley.
He's her
basically.
Bosley. Yeah.
So anyway, she's there, and while she decides to live there for however long, we really don't know how long it is, like a year.
A year or so.
We'll figure a year. But she has to do some perilous. It reminded me very much of the show Homeland.
Yeah, yeah.
With
Claire Danes.
Claire Danes, of
Yeah, I
course.
can see the comparison.
But Diane is wonderful. I mean,
great.
she just has a very.
She's kind of living a double life
There's
in
a
this. Yeah.
there's a coldness and yet warmth at the same time that she's able to really give, and I love that.
Yeah.
That's a rare trait of an actor to just be able to be a human being on screen and to show us what she's thinking at all times, which we do. I love it. So she decides while she's there, she meets a guy, she's a human being, she wants love, so she meets a man, we just saw a photograph of the man, that she basically falls in love with. And I just love it. And of course, her life
I
gets
like that whole element, the whole relationship with him.
absolutely
How it develops.
just felt
how it evolved.
real.
It did.
It felt honest.
And he's a good actor.
He's good.
He has a good
She-
presence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so does she.
Yeah, I want to say his name. His name is
He's wonderful.
Kaz Anvar.
There you go.
And I believe from IMDb, I think he's a Canadian actor. He's actually not from Iran, but he might be a lineage, but he's a Canadian actor,
No,
which is
is he?
interesting, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
Martin Freeman almost. You remember that movie that Tina Fey did? It was called 6 Seconds or something. What was that movie? I believe she goes to Iran or Iraq.
oh, you're talking about blah 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 Foxtrot or whatever?
Was that it?
Something Charlie Foxtrot?
Okay, but Martin Freeman
He's
kind
in
of
that,
plays.
right?
Well, he's drunk, but he
Oh, okay.
kind of plays almost the same kind of. He's a handler, kind of.
Okay.
He's a guy that's been there for so long. He just gets drunk all the time. He doesn't want to deal with it, but he's a kind of a comic foil.
Yeah, in
for
this
kids.
film, he's
that
kind
film,
of-
by the way, is not a comedy.
What?
There's only one.
I
or
know,
two
I heard
comic
that.
scenes
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
film. It's not a great movie, but
In this film, he's kind of douchey at times. He's a very serious guy.
well, he's serious, but he cares so much
He does,
for her.
he does. Yeah, he's not an
And
character.
they're friends
Yeah.
off out of the operative world that
Yeah.
they both exist in, first and foremost. And I kind of get the feeling that he brought her into this whole thing,
Yeah.
and that she's there because of him. So he's protective of her. And then as things go very, very sour for her, within, as expected, this
In these kind of
really,
movies,
this
yeah.
kind of really did feel like an HBO movie in a way, but it never made it to the theaters as far as I know.
At least not in our area. It might have been in overseas. Maybe Europe.
Maybe it played in Tehran at the Tehran Bijou.
Maybe.
It may have
No,
played
honestly,
there.
it probably played in Europe. I would guess in Europe.
There's a
lot of
possibility.
movies play with that, don't play over here.
Very true indeed.
But it was a
Pretty
very
good,
effective film. I enjoyed
loved
it.
I loved it.
I liked it quite a bit.
I just liked the feeling watching it.
Has a good score.
Very often I see so
as
many
well.
films, I do, and so do you. But very often I will literally watch a film in parts. I'll watch
done that at
4
times, yeah.
films at a time, and I've watched a half an hour of The Operative. Now I'll go and watch 15 minutes of VFW, or as much as my stomach can take without me vomiting into a small plastic bag that I keep by the bed. So, and then there's another film. I'll put on Dr. Dolittle for a little while. I'll watch Dr. Dolittle for about as long as I can endure, which only was about 10 minutes. Then I had to turn that off. It's just a rushed little film, Robert Downey Jr. And then I'll go and turn on, there's a new film out now called Mr. Jones, which has that same kind of feel. This is a guy he's a reporter going to, I believe it's Stalin-era Russia, and it's wonderful. I don't know if I have
Not
passed
sure.
that film
Not
on.
sure.
You might want to take a look, but it's got it's so well acted. There's so many great movies out there now.
There's a lot of little gems.
Kind of shocking.
Yeah, it's nice.
How much material is out there?
Almost too much.
It's too much because we can't get to it all, and it's so.
Because that's
and then there's series. Then you've got to take
between
a detour
all the different platforms.
because you see, hey, Fleabag. Oh my God, it won every award in the book. I got to see it.
Yeah.
And then I go and turn that on, and that just 5 hours of my life is gone before I know it, and I love it. And as long as you can absorb, as long as you can appreciate, as long as you can experience joy and love and happiness while you watch these films, that's what this world is about.
I agree.
It's
and
really
this is
true.
one to watch because it's just a good little film.
It's a good little film.
It's an easy watch.
It's a
and
2-hour
sucked
film.
me
It's a
in.
little bit long, I think, but I wouldn't change a moment of this film. I liked every
I enjoyed
essence
quite a
to
bit
it.
too. Yeah.
I will say this: I'm gonna break the law just for a brief millisecond and say I was a little disappointing. The ending is one of those
Ambiguous, I know
could
it
have gone
does,
this or
yeah.
could have gone that.
Exactly.
And I don't like that.
I'm not a big fan of those endings either.
I keep thinking of The Sopranos, don't stop.
I know.
Believe, when they kind of left us there in that little diner there.
I know.
I wanted to see those guys come in and blow Tony.
I want the writer to make that choice. Don't make me make the choice.
No, I don't want to make the choice.
I know.
But in this film, you kind of get the
We get the
impression
idea of where it's going.
that she,
You never know, maybe.
Not a good thing, but you can't say that. You don't know.
I didn't take it that way.
Oh,
I kind of got the feeling that things were going to be okay.
being surrounded, though. Come on. I mean, it was, and I'm giving it away here, but listen, let's not go there.
All right, let's move on.
Great little movie, though.
Check out The
I
Operative.
really enjoy it.
Yeah,
I did.
It's a good film.
Yeah.
Last film of the night is a film that's new on Netflix as of maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's called The Last Thing He Wanted. It stars Anne Hathaway,
Yeah.
Ben Affleck. We had Willem Dafoe and Rosie Perez.
I know.
Who suddenly is getting a lot of work.
Rosie was just in. We just
we
saw her
in,
in
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, of
Birds of
course.
Prey.
Yep.
This is kind of an odd little film. It's a film about a journalist played by Anne Hathaway.
Very similar to the film I just described to you, the Mr. Jones,
Yes.
set back in the 40s.
And this takes place in the mid 80s, 84.
Yeah.
And the backdrop is the re-election of Reagan, because that plays into the story a bit.
Correct.
And this is all about the stuff we were doing down in Central America. We were down there in Salvador. We were down there in I think there's a little bit of Costa Rica in there as
interrupt
well.
you just for a brief moment. Who was the woman that was in that film, the Ben Affleck, David Fincher film? It was
Gone Girl?
Gone Girl.
Yes.
What was her name?
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike made a movie. Same thing. She's a photographer. You
Yeah,
remember?
that was great. That was called A Private War.
There you go.
Very good film.
Very good
We
film.
touched on this film.
And almost, you can almost kind of parallel this to that.
Oh, yeah, she was in,
She's
like,
a
Sarajevo
journalist.
area,
Yeah,
you
she's
know,
a
Syria,
journalist.
maybe. Yeah.
I gotta say, I recommended this film to you. It's basically Anne Hathaway.
It's her movie.
It's her movie all the way. This
and I'll
is
say
Anne.
this: she's excellent. I think
She
all
is
the
excellent.
acting in this film is very good.
I think so too.
I'm gonna say this though: script, hard to follow.
I
didn't
agree.
know what
I
was going
agree.
on in this movie. It was
did.
here. It was there.
It
this,
was-
that.
I know.
Ben Affleck's character. Who are you?
I know.
I don't understand.
And
Well, are
all
you
of-
a secretary? Are you an assassin? What are you?
Characters suddenly turn bad.
I don't know.
Suddenly, the world is closing in on
Yeah.
her, and you're not exactly sure
Who-
why.
why? Yeah.
I know it's very. It was very manipulative.
This movie
and,
needed another pass.
It needed. It did. It,
And you know who
needed
directed this
another,
movie?
Oh,
Dee Rees. She's the one that directed Mudbound. A great film.
Mudbound.
The movie that we watched, the
yeah,
Netflix
with,
film.
Okay.
Yeah,
with,
about race.
What's his name? Clark.
Jason
Clark.
Clark.
Yeah.
That was
wow.
a good. No,
I like that.
wait. Yes, Jason Clark. Correct.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Jason Clark.
For a
From
second, I thought it was
Winchester.
Joel Edgerton.
No,
it's
also
Jason Clark.
in the Pet Cemetery 2.
Exactly.
Jason
No, it
Clark.
is. Jason
but he
Clark
was
was
the
in
best
everything.
in the Hyannisport film, the
Chappaquiddick.
Chappaquiddick. Right.
He's
he was,
excellent,
yes, let me say this about that. Mary Jo, I had to let her die.
Yeah.
She would have opened her mouth and destroyed my career. as it turned out, she destroyed his career anyway.
Oh, that scene! I'm sure you hated that scene with the mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say I didn't love this film.
I didn't either, but I enjoyed it though. I liked
did too.
I liked watching it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Anne Hathaway's performance.
I did too.
I thought she was excellent.
I did, and I liked the way things kind of started.
Yeah. And I thought Willem was great in the few scenes.
Well,
he plays her estranged father.
Her father,
Yeah.
correct.
Who abandoned the family.
I'm getting tired of these estranged fathers in
Well, they're
every
very
film.
prominent in our
It's just
culture.
an easy thing
It is
to
an easy thing.
to rely on as a plot foil,
I know.
twist, and friction going on.
And so this film, the title, The Last Thing He Wanted, plays into a request that William Dafoe places at the feet of Anne Hathaway.
Right.
Needs her to help him with this last deal that he's making.
Correct.
And of course, it's a shady deal that, by the way, talk about the mission I would never go on.
Yeah.
I need you to go on this airplane with these strangers, take all these illicit things down to some Central American country, and bring back all this money. Like, talk about things going sour.
Yeah.
Oh, the scene when she arrives there in the airplane, and all these guys are coming up to her on these mopeds and stuff. That was like, oh, I would not want to be in
Yeah.
that situation.
I totally agree. The movie just, as you said, it really, the script was just
Yeah.
really lacking.
Very
and yet
confusing.
there still was a sense of tension that went
Yes,
on.
I agree.
And I liked it. There's a black guy who's in the film.
He's excellent.
Who is he?
Oh, he's great.
He was wonderful.
His name is a weird name.
Once again,
Edie Gathegi.
Every single person in this movie, are they a bad guy? Are they
I know.
a good
We
guy?
don't know.
Even her dad,
Yeah.
is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy?
You know what I love though? I loved those scenes towards the ending where she's kind of staying at this abandoned resort.
Yeah.
In some Central
with,
American beach.
Toby
Jones.
Toby Jones.
He's this.
I know. I love that.
He's an expatriate.
He's a gay expatriate, and
He steals those scenes.
he does indeed.
He's great.
Wonderful.
And she's got to just hang out
Yeah.
there, lay low for a while.
right.
Yeah, the film has some merit.
It has some heart.
It does, and some
yet
great performances.
And yet it just couldn't get it together to
Yeah.
keep us on track.
And it has one big, sorry to interrupt you, it has one raging big continuity mistake in this film.
Oh, really?
Well, in the film we find out that her character, it's not really a big spoiler, she's had a mastectomy for breast cancer. So there's a scene where she's laying in bed and you see the scar on her left side. You can tell the left breast is gone.
Oh, okay.
Fast forward a little while later in the film,
No scar.
She's in only in a bra, and you see her stuffing the one pocket of the bra where the breast should be, but she was stuffing the right side.
Oh, I see.
How did you miss that, guys? It's completely different.
I wasn't staring at her breast so much. I got to.
No, but it took me out of the movie, kind of a thing.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Fair enough.
But you know, I thought that
maybe the film was reversed.
no, I
in,
thought that too, but
in
no, it wasn't
editing
that.
or
It wasn't
whatever.
that.
But it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Wait, maybe
regardless-
was it in a mirror? I don't think it was in a mirror.
Might have been in a mirror.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
She was excellent.
Yeah, it
though.
was good.
I
you
really
know.
thought she did a good
I feel
job.
bad for Anne Hathaway because I think her last few films, that horrible Serenity she did with Matthew McConaughey,
Yeah.
Hi, and then she did that
The Hustle.
The
Not
Hustle
great.
with Rebel Wilson.
She's been a little wasted.
I mean, she's been, since she got her Oscar, Les Mis, she was great.
Great, I agree.
And, it was only a 5-minute performance basically.
And then she did the Ocean's reboot with the girls.
Oh, that was just
That was
horrendous
okay.
stuff. I mean, that was Steven, Soderbergh.
Well, no, he didn't direct that.
Oh, we didn't?
No, I don't think
Oh, I
he
thought
did.
he did.
I don't think Steven Soderbergh directed that film. I think he
very
produced
possible.
it only.
Okay. Yeah, Lucy Liu was in that one. Wasn't she?
No, the Aquafina was in this one.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
correct. There you go.
And Rihanna.
Right.
But,
This film is a throwaway. It's a 2-star film. I
can't
go further.
say see it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm going to say skip it.
I know. I'm sorry. I
Even though there's
recommended
things
it.
about it that I liked.
It's on Netflix. It's an easy watch
It
if you
is.
feel like it. But there's plenty of good things on there. I want to mention one thing that's on Netflix that I just watched the other night that I had so much fun with, and it's a movie called Mr. Right. And if you get a chance, watch this film. It's
Okay.
2015. But if you love Sam Rockwell.
Oh, I know who you're talking.
is
Him and
fantastic.
Anna Kendrick.
Anna
Raising
Kendrick.
Assassin.
Right.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I loved it.
I wanted to see it when it was in
I
theaters.
sat and watched it from beginning to
I
end.
gotta check that out.
I could not
Yeah.
stop and put it down. And as I said, I very often will watch 10 minutes,
Yeah.
10 minutes. I'll go on. That film I sat from beginning to end. I had such a great time with it. Sam and Anna are
Great
just
chemistry,
amazing.
yeah.
Well, Anna kind of plays the same character she played in The Accountant with Ben Affleck.
Okay.
She's kind of a naive.
They're doing a sequel, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
I love The Accountant.
Me too.
What a violent little
I agree.
piece of
Yeah.
nightmare. Oh, I love that film.
I agree.
really did.
I agree.
You know, Ben, he's starting to look like a little bit under the eyes there. He's had a little work done.
Maybe.
Something. He's got that new movie out now.
Comes
called
out Friday.
The
Way Back.
Way Back. Well, of course, and he's talking about, this
His
is
therapy.
his story
I'm sure.
because he
Went through this.
ended his wife's his relationship with his wife, played by
Well, in real life, played by.
the amazing, wondrous, whatever.
I was going to bring her up before.
Yeah.
Because-
what is her name?
It's,
Long red hair. We just saw her.
Yeah,
in
no,
that,
it's Alias.
Alias film. What is her name?
Why is this not in my brain right now?
It's not a J.
I was gonna bring it in. I was gonna bring it up to you before.
Yeah, and she was in that great movie.
Well, that's why I was
Bryan
gonna bring it
Cranston.
up. That's why I was gonna bring it up to you before because
I love
you
that
fall in love
film.
with her in that movie. Jennifer
did.
Garner.
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
She's so good.
If you haven't seen,
But anyway, he broke up with Jennifer. There's
Yeah.
Willie Dafoe.
If you haven't seen that movie with Bryan Cranston and her, check it out.
What's the name of the film?
It's called. My brain today. Mush.
That's all right.
It's Bryan
Listen,
Cranston and Jennifer Garner.
My brain's like that
Oh,
every-
Wakefield. Wakefield.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a wonderful
Oh
film.
my God.
Check it out. Wakefield.
Wakefield, yeah.
It was
Bryan
fantastic.
Cranston is a guy who just wants to take a break from
His life.
his life. He moves into the garage, in the upper level of the garage, and watches his family.
And they don't know he's there.
Living without him, and they think he's dead. He
Wonderful.
went on a business trip, disappeared. He's living in
What a movie.
in the upper level of the garage, just watching him, and he stays there for like a year or two.
Yeah.
And then one day, and he sees them crying. I mean, how anybody could actually put his family through that kind of torture,
I know.
and let them live without him, not knowing what happened to him.
I know.
And then he sees her take on other lovers, and another lover in particular.
Yes.
And then and at the same time, he can't get food, so he has to go around to garbage cans at night. I love.
It's a wonderful little movie.
Such a great
Yeah.
film.
And real quick, before we move on from this, I love movies about journalists. I love it.
I do too.
I love movies that involve journalists trying to bring truth to power.
Well, one of the
Government's
first
an
ones
example.
ever was that James Woods
Salvador.
film.
It's an Oliver Stone
Loved
film.
it.
Love it.
Loved it.
But I love movies too that touch on when you're trying to call out a government for doing something wrong.
Right.
So to me, this movie reminded me of a film with Jeremy Renner that I think is fantastic. Check out Kill the Messenger. If you
okay.
if you like movies about journalists,
I do.
you like political intrigue films.
I do.
Jeremy Renner plays a photographer, a journalist who's trying to uncover this whole same situation that she's covering in this film. All the stuff we were doing to overthrow.
When did that film come out?
Oh, I want to say 2014, 2013,
Oh,
15.
okay. Wow.
Around that period.
All right.
And he
Kill
plays
the
a
Messenger.
journalist. And it's a true story.
I basically recall.
Kill the Messenger.
Yeah.
Really good film. Far superior to this.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Not saying that.
So now
Okay.
just a couple things that are on video that just came out.
Came out today.
Came
Queen
out
and Slim.
today.
This is a great movie,
Queen
by
and
the
Slim.
way.
It's a very good film.
I can't endorse it too much because of the horrible ending. But
Yeah.
the chemistry
It's a good film.
between our wonderful.
I really
dynamic.
enjoyed it.
And this woman specifically.
Excellent.
You know, this really does feel like almost a foreign film. And I say that because in foreign films are real life
Yeah.
with the dull bits left in.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dull bits in this film of just people living their life.
Yeah.
There's a great scene where they
Jodie
pass-
Turner-Smith. She's
I
excellent.
love her.
She's
Oh
great.
my, and introducing.
I would watch this again.
I would too, just for her. I just love the look of this film.
Yeah.
It just has a road. It's a road pick.
a road film.
There's a
It's like Bonnie and
horrible-
Clyde a little
Right.
bit.
Well, the scene opens up where a cop just profiles, pulls them over because they're black, and things get out of hand. He drops. He
We
tries
don't need
to
to get into too much of the story.
Well, no,
'cause-
that's the opening scene of the film.
No,
That's
but I
what
mean, in
sets the
terms
whole
of
thing.
time, we don't need to
I
get into
see,
too much of
okay.
it.
But
It's a
anyway,
great film.
they end up killing the cop and going on the
And then
run.
they're on the run, yeah. It's
So
just
the
a
whole
really
film
good film.
is a road pick.
It is.
And I love it.
Check
and
it
they
out.
just take time to deliver just great little moments there
Yeah.
and real stuff. I loved it.
It's available now. You can buy it in stores, on your streaming platforms. You
On
can
your
watch
streaming
it.
platform,
It's
whatever
very
you
good.
like.
Knives Out is out.
Knives Out came out.
I liked
yeah.
it. I saw it once. I probably will never watch it again.
No reason to watch this
Yeah,
film again.
never watch it again.
I didn't love it. We got great people there. I love Chris.
Good cast. Chris was great.
I love Christopher Plummer.
This is out on Blu-ray
Yeah.
and everything. Have you watched this yet?
There's no need to have a 4K ultra version of this.
I know. I agree.
You know, that's just,
I agree.
just stupid.
Now you didn't watch this yet, did
I
you?
saw the film.
Okay.
I did watch it, and I liked it very, very
I
much.
agree.
It's basically not really about Mr.
No.
Rogers. That's why Tom Hanks was only nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
Because it's really about a journalist who
Yes.
works for what, Vanity Fair or whatever.
One of those
doing
magazines.
an article. It might even be New York Times, but I think
No,
it's
no, it
Vanity
was a
Fair.
magazine.
It was Vanity Fair, I believe. And he's doing an article on Mr. Rogers, and he goes in skeptical
Yeah.
and like, oh, this guy's a fake, he's a phony. But no, as the film goes on, Mr. Rogers, just due to his warmth and true tonal truth of the world and the way he views the world, brings the truth out of this guy.
He peels the onions away.
He peels the onions away, and the father, played by
Chris
Cooper.
Great.
I know Chris was in. I just saw Chris last night.
He's in a bunch of stuff.
Well, I just saw him last night. I'm watching all the Spider-Mans.
Yes.
I watched
he's
all
in
three
that.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yes.
He's also in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 with Andrew Garfield.
Yes, yes.
And I got to say, those Tobey Maguire's films, directed by Sam Raimi, so superior. So superior.
The first two were really good. I didn't care for the third.
Oh, I love the third. I love the third. The only bad part is when he's tripping down the street and he
That
thinks
was weird. Gets all
thinks
emo
he's
or
hot
whatever,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, but I like the fact we also have the birth of Venom, the character
We do.
Venom in that film.
Yeah.
Um,
Topher Grace.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought this was good. I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed this too.
Not best picture, not best supporting
Not
actor.
best anything.
Nothing, but it's a fun little movie. I enjoyed it.
I don't think Tom really evoked a really great job. I mean, he's probably the best we had to do on
did
Mr.
what he could with
Rogers.
it.
But Mr. Rogers had a perpetual smile on his face no matter what he said. You know, a bomb just blew up in your mother's asshole. Or, forgive that particular line, but Mr. Rogers could literally say anything and he still just looked like the happiest guy in the world.
Wonderful guy.
Where Tom gets very morose and dark in this film when
does.
he's dealing specifically with the father relationship of the journalist in question. So
Well, you gotta remember, this is showing behind the scenes.
No, I understand.
Well, you're referencing Mr. Rogers when he was on the show. So behind the scenes, I've heard he was a pretty serious guy.
Well, I don't know about that.
He had a complicated relationship with his two sons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't the easiest guy to live with.
Well, maybe so.
But regardless, it's a good little film.
It is.
This is out.
Jojo came
Rabbit.
out
We
last
reviewed
week.
this
Actually,
a lot.
that's 2 weeks ago.
Really good film. Yeah. Well, I'm also touching on things that are also out since we've been off.
Okay. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
We have Midway now out.
Didn't love
We
it.
covered that.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was.
Came out in 4K
Yeah,
today.
it is what it is.
Not today, but a week ago.
We have what else? I want to see that. I
Color
didn't
of
see
Space.
this yet.
I
Colorado
know.
Space. Nicolas Cage.
You know, when Nicholas is in a movie, it's so easy to just turn the film off before it even starts.
I still love Nick.
I love him.
You know that Ben Affleck replaced him in that Anne Hathaway film?
Really?
He was supposed to play that role.
Well, that
For
would
whatever
have been
reason.
interesting.
I agree.
Why? Who replaced him, I wonder?
Ben Affleck replaced him.
No, I meant who did the director
I think he
replace
does. I think
him?
he just dropped. Meaning he
just
dropped
bailed?
out.
Oh, interesting.
Probably scheduling as
Oh,
always.
that's too bad.
Yeah, I know.
You know, the last big production film that I saw Nick in was that film that
Mandy. That was good.
Well, Mandy still wasn't a big production film. It was still kind of a low key.
Oh, you're talking about production value.
I'm
Big.
talking about the one he did with Nicole Kidman, where they're married and
Trespass?
Yeah.
That's going back a while.
I know, but that's kind of that was in the theaters
Yeah.
with Nick Cage.
Well, also he had
What else?
that Left Behind movie with about the rapture he was in. That was in
Never
theaters.
made it to
It was
theater.
playing in theaters.
Well, no, what
my
theater?
my aunt went to see it at Garden State Plaza with my father. I think.
Maybe it was showing on someone's forehead, one of your friends who had a hydro.
No, they were showing it in the pet shop window.
Maybe you were smoking some herb superb that.
Regardless, I want to see this.
I started it. I turned
like
it
to
right.
see it.
I turned it right.
I know it's based on H.P. Lovecraft.
You know, well, he kind of, Chris. Nick. He's religious. He's a Jesus freak now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, he does quite a few Jesus films.
Doesn't mean he's a Jesus
the
freak.
Knowing, the film The Knowing.
Knowing wasn't a religious film.
That
no.
was the one. Yeah, that was the
was
one where
about
the
it.
apocalypse comes at
Yeah,
the
but,
end.
but
the
there
whole
was
world.
no religious element
Oh,
of it.
come
He was just
on.
a guy that knew about it. That was
No, that was a religious film. You were incorrect.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, you're just
Not being a religious
but your brain
element.
is fudge. You admitted it.
No. That movie was not a religiously themed film.
He did like 2 religious films in a row.
He did Left Behind was one.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other one.
I think he did The Knowing.
Because Knowing was an
about-
Alex Proyas film. The guy that did the Dark City and The Crow. He wouldn't have made a religious film.
Oh, you never know.
No.
But anyway.
Well, I don't care if he's a Jesus freak. Go, be a Jesus freak.
Kind of has a face-off cover.
A little bit,
we
yeah.
should have John Travolta over here.
I know.
On the other side.
I'm surprised they haven't done another movie together. They're both kind of in the same level.
I didn't know it was HP. I will watch it.
I gotta watch it, yeah.
I have the film. I
wanna watch it.
I'll check it out.
This is also out.
Yeah.
Not that I'm gonna see it, but it was a big documentary that came out in '91, and now it's available on Criterion. It's all about the drag scene in New York in the '90s.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, I just was announced today that Pornhub is releasing its first film, and it's going to be about the transgender revolution in the country, in the world, which sounds
You're talking
very
about a narrative feature film?
A narrative documentary film.
Oh, interesting.
It's not going to be a porn film, but it's made by Pornhub.
Oh.
So that just tells you how good Pornhub's doing on our planet.
Which doesn't make any sense because it's all free.
No, it's not. They have a whole premiere level.
Well, you can get the HD stuff, but...
They have a whole premiere level, and apparently they're doing very good.
All right.
But it doesn't matter these days. It goes by hits.
Well, that's
how
true,
many
too.
hits
Well,
you
that's
get.
true, I guess.
And Pornhub is getting hits up the kazoo.
I know. I just don't know anybody that's ever had a paid
When I say
profile.
up the kazoo, you know what I mean.
All right, let's move on. This is also... I want to see this.
Okay.
I like Mark Ruffalo.
I know you do.
I like... Oh, Bill Pullman. Cool.
Yeah.
And
He
Tim Robbins.
just came out of Spotlight, and
He did.
he's
Yeah,
right
he
in
did
this
this.
piece.
All right, so now we have, real quick, we're just going to touch on some things that are coming out in theaters. And then
way
we're done.
over time now.
We're way over. We're 10 minutes over now.
We are indeed.
All right, just opening this week, like we said before, The Way Back.
There you go.
Every actor gets their coach movie. This is his.
Well,
coaching the kids with the big
think
speech.
This might be his second coach film.
I don't think he did one
I
before.
think he's done another coach film.
I don't think so. This is for the kids. Onward. It looks actually pretty good.
Yeah, it does look kind of fun.
We have this movie with
Hey, look, there's Mick.
Mick Jagger.
Oh, Rubber Lips, as he's known.
It's called The Burnt Orange Heresy. Kind of a bad title. But Donald Sutherland, Elizabeth
Fleabag
Debicki.
is in
I
it.
guess that's that guy.
You know, I think. Oh, is that? It's a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Because that's Elizabeth Debicki.
Imagine some poor woman being, named.
You know who she is, right? She plays
Nebula.
Nebula in the Guardian movies and the Avengers.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean she's the one with the funky face?
Yeah.
She's the sister.
Yeah, sister of
Zoe.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Oh, cool.
Then we have this.
Donald Sutherland,
Yeah,
Donald Sutherland
Take a run with him.
and Bruce Dern should just get together and make movies together. I love this guy.
Bill Nye is
Bill
great.
Nye, he's so dynamite.
Sometimes,
I
always,
love
never
him.
looks good. I want to see it.
I love Bill Nye.
I don't think
really
it's playing
do.
anywhere near us.
I love that one film where he played the hitman. Remember that movie? He was a hitman, but he was so droll, and he just goes to people and says, "I've got to kill you now.
Vaguely.
I hate to do it." And then he'd
I like
shoot
the one
him
with
in
Tom
the-
Wilkinson.
and
Your
who was in
your
that
money
movie?
back, $10 or less. Your money back, whatever it's called.
I don't remember that one.
This was I'm not going to watch this, but it's an interesting, noteworthy documentary that's coming out, all about obscure, noteworthy bookstores
okay.
all over New York. And it's got a lot of celebrities
I'll bet
being
that's
interviewed.
cool. I've been to many of those
Yeah,
bookstores. Some
it's
of the
kinda
greatest
cool.
bookstores.
And I love that bookstores are still out there like
I do
this.
too,
Me
especially in New York City.
Exactly.
Down in the village, oh my God,
Really
they're all
cool.
over the place.
It's great.
It's wonderful.
Moving on. This is out now.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Our CGI dog.
Exactly. I can review it next week if you're going to watch
If
it.
you'd like to.
Also playing is Sonic. This is doing very well.
It is.
Neither one of us have seen it.
Everybody I know who has seen it, even people
I heard it's fun, right?
just adults, just went to see it for the heck of it because they like the old video game or whatever.
Yeah.
Have loved the film.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that the guy who did Warrior and
He did this.
directed
Yes,
it. Very
yes.
interesting.
But that's our show, folks. We're going to stick with it.
There you go.
We'll see you next week for more stuff.
We shall return.
And
whether you want us to or not.
we'll see you then.
We will be back next week.
Have a great week.
Have a great week.
And we'll see you.
And please be nice to each other because, let's face it, we're all going to die soon because of this incredible virus out there. So, no, I don't think we will. Let's face it, the Ebola, the Nitsy Fitsy, what other viruses have we had?
Well, we had H1N1.
We had H1N1.
SARS.
SARS, that was a biggie.
MERS.
And there was another big one. They're all over the place.
I know.
We just get
Well,
them.
Ebola's come many times, too. That's
Has it?
one. Ebola had Ebola a bunch of times.
So this basically, 100,000 people died in this country last year from the flu.
Regular flu.
Right.
I know.
And
That's the real
I was
pandemic.
watching some show the other night, and the guy was just talking about, with Chris Cuomo, as a matter of fact, he was saying, if I told you that 100,000 people have died, like in the last 6 months, and that hundreds and hundreds of children specifically die of this all the time, would you be surprised? Well, they have. And it's just your basic flu.
Yeah.
Because people's immune system are not
I
so
know.
great. Now look in China, everybody's kind of inbred. They're all related in some strange, odd way. And
I don't think that's
the
true at all.
metabolism. Well,
Very
probably just
general.
started with 2 Chinese people that just got together one day, and next thing you'll know, there are 3 billion people. So it's hard to say actually, but it doesn't really matter.
No.
But
But anyway, there's no reason to get crazy about it. The only thing is, it could disrupt our lives here and there. If the
well, you have reason to worry. I don't. I have no children in schools. You have a child in school. Who, more susceptible.
I wash my hands a million times a day, and hopefully
I'm sure
they
you
do too. Anyway, folks, we don't need to beleaguer the point.
No, let's beleaguer it. Let's beleaguer.
Let's just end this.
All right,
show.
we're done. We're finished. It's over.
Yeah, it's you guys don't want to watch another
We're
few
spent.
minutes.
It's done.
We'll see you
All
guys
right,
next
folks.
week.
We shall see you next week.
Enjoy your week.
Take care.
Bye.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Oh, that was a good beer, man. Thank you.
Did you like
That
it?
was really tasty beer.
It is very good virus beer.
What?
I mean, it is very good
What'd you
beer.
say?
It is Corona beer.
Corona beer. What?
It is very good.
Why does that name sound familiar?
I have fed it to your entire planet,
What?
and they are enjoying it. 2,000 people a day.
What? Wait a second. Are you talking about the corona, the virus?
You said it. I didn't.
No. No.
Oh well. Another one bites the dust.
Louie, where are you?
Road. Yeah, we're going down. Yeah, let's just